have Game Pass. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, we got a crazy race here at Monza. Monza's a very notorious track, and honestly, I am ready to get into it. We have a 9-lap sprint followed by a 27-lap feature race. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Monza, then you are certainly in for a treat. Monza is a very chaotic track on its heyday. The turn one chicane is an absolute nightmare and almost always is the center of attention, particularly on lap one. So how about you, Dito? How are you feeling today?
Alright, you should be able to hear me now. Yeah, mate, I'm excited. Obviously, Div 4 delivered. We just had that all finished now, and that was an exciting race between Mercedes and Kick. If you guys didn't tune in, that stream will be up and published very soon. Should be able to hear me now, buddy, if you could just let me know.
Yeah, I popped up the audio really quickly and yep, alright, Two Door says your audio's good, so we are chilling.
Oh, it's sweet. That's mint. We've had a magnitude issues tonight. But sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm excited, mate. Ooh, that is looking ominously dark.
Ooh, Monza with rain.
Just when I said Div 4 delivered, if you guys didn't see that, Mercedes and Kick probably delivered one of the best battles seen in a while for round one this season, especially, and exciting times ahead for that division and what's coming for that. And I'm really, really looking forward to this division. Look at who's on the grid. This is a stacked division. These guys are so rapid, and I think this is going to be an incredible qualifier session for the sprint. See a lot of these guys dive out really early because I think we are in for some rain.
Yeah, indeed. We saw in some of the preseason races, particularly Singapore, where the qualifying dynamic changed up a lot once the elements got involved. And rain here in Monza isn't super common. It's not unheard of, but most times when you race at Monza, you are expecting the dry weather. Monza isn't too tough on the tires. It's only got 11 corners, the second least amount of corners on the calendar. The only one with less is the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And it's a very high speed track. So typically, you're going to want to see those one stop strategies with just like a medium to hard strategy is the usual go to. But when you throw the elements into it, it can kind of change things around. So you might see a zero stop on a set of intermediates for the tire whisperers that are among the grid, or depending on how heavy the rain gets, you may see some wets, but we'll just have to play it by visuals. So yeah, rain can definitely change things up here. So I know we've seen some drivers go ahead and use the like medium tires to kind of get a feel for the track, and we see that with a few of the cars here on track. I'm gonna pull up the tires really quick on my end. So yeah, actually everybody with the exception of Darkin and Tomo are on the medium tire compound, and also the One Truth. They're all on the medium, or the drivers I just mentioned. The One Truth, Tomo, and Darkin are all on the soft tire compound. They're thinking we may see some rain early on. I'm sure the engineers are trying to come up with strategies on the fly based on when they suspect the rain is going to happen. Few drivers are now beginning their lap. So, do you have any predictions on who's going to go ahead and get pole position here, Dito?
Due to preseason, I think it's hard to say, man. I think Bevs from last season will be really strong. MJ Roller's also really strong in the McLaren. Oh mate, it's Spry, uh, Shifty, all Lamb. I mean, these Yuki Bear. There's some massive names in this that. Yeah, I'd say so, mate. This year's got to exit out of the game to check that, but I'm not sure. I've tried so much at this point. Anyway, Limitless looks like he invalidated or is just started his lap and used a lot of battery already. Hato sets the pace with a 120, sorry, .01. Dale behind him. Dante with a 19.3. Great time from him.
Yeah, I think we're going to definitely see these times fall as the drivers kind of switch, because all the drivers who have set times at the moment are on that medium tire compound. So I think once we see some of the soft runners as XPG, it's just the fastest time of the session with a 1 minute 19.1 flat. A very good time on that medium tire compound. So it's going to be really fun to see, especially if the elements get involved. It is a very ominous day, but with that cloud cover, the temperatures on track aren't going to be as high. So it's going to take a little bit longer for those mediums and soft tires to heat up and get to their optimal operating window. Darkin will be the first. Actually, he was going to be the first driver on the softest side time, but his time is invalidated. So that he's going to have to take another go. But yeah. So far, no one has been able to match the Kick Sauber of XPG's time. 1 minute 19. We're seeing a good amount of 1 minute 19s. The other Kick Sauber with a 126. That is not representative, I don't believe. So we'll definitely see that lap time fall. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun session.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Kachi is a new name, I believe. Setting his time now, coming up to the final end of this sector. I will invite Dragon now, Plugger.
I just invited it,
Uh,
so don't worry. All right. Yeah. There. Yep. He's back.
so Kachi now to cross the line. Where does this put him? He's up to P8 with a 119.9. So a lot of drivers into the 19s now. Just we'll try and pick a time, then I can quickly duck out of this and try and fix the game volume again. But until then, we will just continue to see these guys finish these laps. We've got a lot of times coming in. Darken, Dragon, Tomo, and Luminous all in the pit still. One Truth's on the out lap.
So far, now nobody on the soft tire has set a full time yet. At least not that I can see. So we're probably gonna now we're down to the last like 5.5 minutes of the first sprint qualifying session. So in Rush we have implemented full qualifying, but that is not going to be the case for the sprints, just because we have two separate races. So it's gonna be short quality for both this and the feature race. So we're coming down to the last 5 minutes of the first sprint qualifying session. And I think we're going to start seeing those soft runners go ahead and make their laps. MJ Rolla in the McLaren just set a purple sector number 2. He's coming down to the final hairpin, the world famous Parabolica. We'll see where his time sits. He is on the medium tires currently, so he will have to switch to a soft compound tire inevitably, but we'll see where this lap puts him. He's coming across the line. He just exited Parabolica, and he's going straight to the pits. Having a purple sector too, that's a very interesting call, but you got about 4.5 minutes left. It is a short outlap compared to some other tracks on the calendar, like say Baku or Spa. Those are the first two tracks to come to mind when you think of super long outlaps. And yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see where these times fall once we start seeing the soft tires becoming equipped. I don't think there's any soft tires on the track at the moment. The one truth.
Okay.
Validated again, the Alpine just not having a great time here on this circuit.
No, absolutely not, mate. I'm going to try and do this quickly while we are not got many cars on the track. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. I'm very sorry about this, but new season, new streaming software, and it's not going to plan, but we will. There we go.
Yeah, all the cars are into the pits, so now it's a perfect time to work on that. While my amazing co-host is going ahead and getting all that situated, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the track. The track has been around for quite some time. It opened up on September 3rd of 1922, over 100 years ago. It's quite a few different names, but Monza is one of the most famous circuits in the world, used by a lot of different racing categories, including Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3. It's actually the season finale for Formula 3. WEC uses it. They didn't use it last year because it was around the time they were doing the resurfacing to get ready for Formula 1. And yeah, it's a pretty well-known track. Only 11 corners. So, and actually, an IndyCar has the fastest lap here, which is a 54 seconds lap time. That is probably the variant without the chicane, the very infamous turn 1 chicane that is most notable for bowling incidents that you've seen. I'm sure you've seen at some point before, and I think it happened to some extent in Div 4 earlier.
Yeah, mate, yeah. I think you're spot on there. Sorry, I think I fixed it.
Awesome.
Alright, so we are back. And there is a lot of cars coming out on our laps now. Hato also, I think, will be probably the first to start his next lap for the last bit of this sprint quali. He will have a chance probably to get around again just in time, but that's it only if he needs to. let us know, guys, if you want to ride on board with someone in particular. I'm more than happy to. Just spend your channel points and we'll take all your money, and then I will go on board with them.
Yeah, right now, XD Lamb was the first driver that's on the lap. He's coming through the two Lesmos, coming through the second Lesmo. Those very deceptive corners. They look easier than they actually are. When I was doing my lap earlier, just to get a feel for the track and make sure I didn't have the connectivity issue. That exact set of corners is exactly where I validated. Looks like there's a yellow over by the. Yeah, there's a yellow over in sector 3 right near the parabolica. That is just traffic, slow moving traffic. Does not impede XD Lamb at the slightest. He's coming around the parabolica now, so he's about to hit that start finish straight. Now let's go ahead and see where he comes when he finishes across the line.
Whoa!
It's good for P2. It's slower than a time set by XPG on the medium. A 1:19.134, Dito. That is not quite the time he was looking for.
No, I'm sure he'd be happy with that, mate. You got to remember too, Lammy's up into a new division this season, up from Division 3. And then we got Shifty go fastest with a 19 flat. And there's a lot of times coming through now. So this is going to heat up really quick. Look at Kick. Kick also working together here. Illyrian, we know how quick he can be. And then wasn't in many races last season. I think it may have reserved a few and stuff. But yeah. Doing good now. P7, see what he can do here. Come around to the final corner, throws it in. Down to 5th on the power early. No grip issues. And has a nice toe from his teammate. See what he can do here. Oh, the kicks go P1, P2. And then the Ferrari slides in the middle with an 18.7. Look at P1, 18.5. Wow.
That is a very wicked time there from XPG. He's definitely going to be the driver you're going to want to keep an eye on for today's race. That is for certain. The Salvers are looking on fire this season. They were really strong in the preseason, and I think in general, I think we're going to have a really solid race here. This is a track that favors a high speed setup, probably the highest speed setup on the grid. And yeah, so I think we're going to have a really fun race here today. I'm going to go ahead and get Aiden in. Let's try to get our 20th driver on the grid.
McLaren's coming across the line now. They've been working together on this lap. They go P8 and P13. Drops down to P9. There's only a few guys left to complete a lap. Shifty's in the pits. Yuki. Looks like he's done as well. Everyone is done, I believe.
Yuki's the only one left. He's coming on the parabolica now, so he'll be the last one. The Dragon and the One Truth not setting time. So that's interesting. Oh, and Yuki's going to fire off to the pits. He might as well. He's a P7. He's pretty chill. So we have lost Sebi, Darkened, Dragon, and the One Truth out in SU1. With 2 of them not even setting times. That is very peculiar, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they had some technical difficulties there, but we are straight into the sprint now with that. So hopefully they get that sorted before the race. But yeah, interesting quality, mate. It looked like, I think it was just all about track evolution at that point. The kick just timed that perfectly and used each other's toe the whole lap. Did extremely well. We saw that in Div 4 not long ago, not even an hour ago. Kick and Mercedes doing that all race, and a what do you call it? Sorry, I think we're doing short quali. Anyway, that is your quali. Kick Sauber on top, XPG with a 118.5. Oscar Piastri really close, P2, and Dante P3. But what a sprint race we have on show. I mean, we saw it in Div 4. I think we're going to see it again. Hopefully everyone can navigate through this difficult turn 1. And everyone's facing the right way after that first corner.
Yeah, turn 1 it's notorious. And I mean, if you see turn 1 happen without any issues, it is a miracle. You are praying to the track limit gods at that point, just because turn one is such a very tight chicane, and it's gonna be chaos. And we get to experience lap one, turn one twice because we got the sprint race, which will be underway very shortly. And actually, it just slipped my brain a bit that it is indeed short quality for today because of the sprint. So we are going straight into the race. There's no SQ2 or SQ3, and there won't be any Q2 or Q3 later on. Earlier, it is one qualifying session to go ahead and determine the order. Kick Sauber on pole position. Once these drivers load on in, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And we're about to see those 5 red lights going on. And we're about to get underway. And it's lights out, and away we go here in Monza for the sprint race to kick off Rush season number 8. And it is turn 1 shenanigans inbound as the Mercedes goes ahead and takes P1. Beautiful stuff there from Oscar Piastri. And there's a good amount of rubbing all through the field. And we have survived. We have survived turn 1 mayhem.
Yeah, really good stuff there. A few guys went off wide into the gravel, but nothing too harmful. Everyone's still facing the right way. There's a lot of moves going up here. Dante getting smothered at the start there. Kick in control.
Almost that wide.
See here, want to be making a move on Kachi in the Red Bull. Yeah, great start. Great to see everyone get through that. No problems. Dale and Shifty battling it out in the opening stages of this lap. Dale defending... Kalki is, sorry. Dale fighted for the champion last season. Very, very close championship towards the end. Good morning, mate.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty good battle here between Oscar Piastri Goat and XPG. Yuki is going to make the move onto Limitless Draco there in the parabolic, and it's a pretty good spot to overtake, honestly. And Oscar Piastri will set the first fastest time of the sprint, but that is lap 1. Now, can we get through lap 2 without any incident? As we see all 19 cars come across the grid. Oh, there's a front end plate going off. There's several bits of contact there. The McLaren, the Red Bull, I think the Haas is involved in that too. I'm gonna contact, but nobody really going fully off, and we haven't seen any DNFs yet. Yeah. But we do see a lot of position changes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Dale's knocked his end plate off, unfortunately, there, so it might not be too bad. He might be able to withstand that till his pit stop, but it will struggle in that dirty air of Yuki. And it looks like Yuki is also missing one.
Yeah, I believe he was one of the cars involved with the contact earlier on.
So unfortunate there for them, but plenty of time to make some time up. Lap 2 out of 9 in the sprint race. As we head back up to the front, and it's now Kick P1, P2. So this is turning into a really good weekend for Kick Sauber. We'll see here what they can do. Oscar Piastri looking dangerous on the back of Illarin. Illarin will have DRS from his teammate. See what Kick do here. They can't go side by side at the moment, and it looks like Oscar fought better of it at the end there, but a lot of late braking going on. Ooh. And more wings flying, and a
massive contact in the back there. Yeah. Between XP Lamb and Draco, getting a little bit squirrely there as the exit actually came.
Yeah, it looks like Draco did pretty much the exact same thing that happened to Dale on the lap before. Just ran straight into the back of him and lost the wing. These guys now have to deal with that damaged wing, and it looks like a few guys are lost position. Shifty now P12, One Truth up into P14 though, doing well. But yeah, interesting start made to the sprint race, Kick and control, and XPG is starting to get out of DRS range because of Illarin and Oscar battling it out, which is probably exactly what he would want.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want in a teammate. You want that rear gunner to go ahead and get you the most amount of points humanly possible. Now, basically, Lyrian is working as like a mobile chicane, essentially, or a barricade. He's working like a roadblock from, say, those earlier Need for Speed games. He's blocking his opponent, make sure that there's no way through without some major contact, and letting his teammate soar off into the distance. Now, Lyrian does want to stay close to his teammate there, as his teammate does have the fastest lap of the sprint. And they're coming down
Oh,
into turn one. Oh,
Larkin's in the
Darkin is out.
pits. Tired. Looks like the
Yeah, I
Aston's in
mean,
there too. Tomo.
yeah, I mean, with the sprint race being so short, I mean, if you have damage, you can't stick it out just for personal pride, but I mean, you have another race to go through later, and especially with the sprint race being only 9 laps here for Division 2. So it is, sometimes it might just be the better option, because, I mean, points were not going to be in the question for Darkened, especially if he had to take repairs. So he just has, it's better sometimes to just go ahead, take a back seat, take that mental rebreathe, you know, stretch out a bit, catch your breath, you know, drink some water or whatever energy beverage you so desire. And sometimes it's just good to get that good reset, you know. There's still a little bit of the sprint left, so you got enough time to recollect, discuss it with your race engineer and your lead strategist, and hit it again, qualifying, and then the feature race later on.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's not always the end of the world, and always good to have another shot straight after. Get a chance to regroup, like you said. But the battle at the top is continuing. Oscar trying his hardest to get past Urin. He's not letting it happen at this stage, but Yuki's also right there, applying all sorts of pressure. Doing that with a damaged wings, he's doing really well. And this race is still plenty of time for moves to unfold. Lap 5 out of 9, and then obviously another quali and then a feature. Tomo's actually jumped on the soft, so he might be going for fastest lap. Had too much damage to continue.
Yeah, Tomo had to get a whole. Yeah, Tomo had a whole front wing replaced, so he went to the pits at the same time that Darkin did. As the other, speaking of the Ferrari, the other Ferrari's got a 3-second time penalty, so that's gonna drop him out of the points. Dante getting overtaken by the Williams on their home track. The Tifosi are not gonna be happy about that one. One of their Ferraris has retired. The other one got a 3-second penalty that's gonna surely drop him out of the points. And possibly even drop him super far back to around P15. Looking to possibly lose another position to Watanabe, and he's going to go ahead and just make a very clear pass coming into the Parabolica. Excellent move there from the Aston Martin. He didn't want to get stuck behind that Ferrari for too long, especially with that 3-second penalty looming over his head. And XD Lamb in the Williams will go ahead and set the fastest lap of the session, a 1:26.68. Very good stuff there from the Williams. Ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, he dies in between the Saubers.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Oh no! It's even more chaos.
Oh, what's happened there? It looked like it locked the front. Oh, and Illerin and Dante are side by side now. It's just allowed Lamb to pass both of them. Took full advantage of that.
Not what you want.
But they were super lucky not to keep going into the wall there. That could have been a race ender for both of them.
Yeah, rule number 1 of being teammates is to not crash into your teammates. So that's, I'm sure those comms are going to be spicy over there at Sauber at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happened there, mate. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's frustrating for sure. I'm sure for Illerin, dropped down to P4 now. Know how hard it is to get past these guys. He does have Dante with a penalty, which will obviously fall back after the race is finished, but he will wanting to be getting up into the top 2 again, and Lamb's actually applying a fair bit of pressure now onto XPG, which is probably one of the first times that XPG in this race has had to probably defend on this back straight. So here he goes. Lamb's
and there's
going
to be no defense.
Yeah.
Oh, the Sauber's going spinning. There's going to be Sauber ping pong going into the first one. As the Sauber of that was XPG actually that went super far wide there. Oh no, that was Lyrian.
What the?
Lyrian went straight off into the chicane. I saw him ping ponging around with I believe that was Oscar Piastri and Dante. A little bit of Olympic ping pong going on there with the kick Sauber. Sauber's gonna try to make moves, but he's just losing more and more position. He's getting forced wide onto the gravel there from the odds, and now ping ponging again with the Red Bull Limitless Draco. Lyrian's races went from bad to worse. Same for Cavius, however. As XD Lamb, we know how quick that Williams driver is. And man, he is just rapid right now. I mean, that incident last lap definitely opened the door for Williams. And the Williams said, "Well, door's wide open. I'm going straight in." That's exactly what XT Lamb did. Now, XPG does not have any damage on his car. Oh no, never mind. He has a missing front. Nope, never mind. I can't see apparently. So surprisingly, XPG has no damage. So as we enter the penultimate lap of this sprint, pretty much it's going to be a battle between the Sauber and the Williams for P1. There's a good amount of overtaking opportunities on this track. Two different DRS zones. One on the start-finish straight and the other shortly after the second Lesmos.
Oh no!
Oh, what do we got going on here?
Oh no!
Oh, chaos in the background between the Alpine of One Truth and Dale, I believe. Yeah. Oh, and there's Aston Martin on all the way around.
No. Big crash.
Yeah, well, I definitely have to try to get some. I'm sure that's going to hit the steward's room, no doubt. No safety car, thankfully, although I'm not super surprised because it is down to the last lap. And looking in Twitch chat here, possibly Lyrian's wheel might have disconnected. That's one theory that's going off in chat. Why are they doing this on the onboard?
To the onboard.
Slugger. Oh, stewarding. Good question. Also, Rose, can you bring me some coffee that you were talking about? It is probably 4 a.m. flat here over in Florida, and I could definitely use some.
Here we go,
But
last
also,
lap.
thanks for popping in.
XPG just gets past Lamb into the first corner, but that means Lamb will have DRS on him. So can XPG hold him off? We'll just look at the battery percentage. Lamb does have a lot more. Oscar too far back to threaten for the race lead.
Yeah, and Draco has retired. Also, as the admin is saying, we are only about 5 people away from having 70 concurrent viewers in stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are super stoked to have you on board. If you guys are brand new, be sure to follow us here on Twitch. We have some excellent racing, including this last lap we're going to see here between XPG and XD Land, the Sauber v. Williams. All they got is they got one more corner, and this race is done and dusted for the sprint.
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it.
Go for quali. He's going to go for the round on the outside. He's got the track position, a little bit of contact there between the Williams and the kick Sauber there. And I think that basically just all but sealed it, but there's a run up to the end. Who's going to get it? It's going to be close. It's XPG in the kick Sauber. He takes the sprint win by under 0.2 of a second. Lyrian going to get hit with an extra 10-second penalty for an unserved penalty. That dropped him way out of the points. And that was a very hectic race, especially towards the second half of the sprint there, Dito.
Yeah, man, that was hectic. And XPG did really well there. He timed that perfectly for that overtake on Lamb and just had enough battery to hold him off. And yeah, man, if that's the sprint, I can't wait for this feature. This is going to be exciting, mate. We obviously got another quali, and then we will be straight back into another race, mate. But yeah, exciting times. Unfortunate for Iller, and I'm not sure what happened there. It almost, to me, it almost looked like a brake failure, but he was able to save it before he went barreling into the wall. And yeah, that's awesome race, mate, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, that basically is a precursor of what's to come. Here are your results from the sprint race. You have PG and XC having a very close battle there towards the end, followed by Yuki in Haas T3, great result for him, followed by Oscar Piastri, Roland, Dragon, Tippy Wizza, Archie, I probably mispronounced that, I apologize. Then Dante, Hato, Sebi, Lyrian after several penalties, Dale, Fry, The One Truth, Pamo, and then Lemon Strago, Watanabe, and Dark and Shadows all DNF, which is very unfortunate there from those 3 drivers. But hey, like you mentioned, we're about to enter quali. Kick is on top, at least for P1. They could have had a 1-2, but unfortunate incident with him going straight on into the chicane. And yeah, and oh, look at that. That is beautiful sunshine now. So that track is going to get very heated up, especially with the rubber left over from the sprint. I think we're going to see a very spicy qualifying session.
Yeah, mate, I'm excited, and those times towards the back end of sprint quali were super rapid. So that's anything to show for it. We're in for a long one tonight, and yeah, I'm excited, mate. I think I don't know. Still don't know who to pick for pole. I think Kick is really just impressive this weekend, mate. They really come out of pre-season, in my opinion, the strongest so far, and yeah, doing really well. So I think Kick will be one to watch in this quali, and Ilaren will have some type of vendetta. He'll want to make up amends for that sprint race. I feel like he probably felt like he could have won that, and yeah, he'll want to make up for that in this one.
Yeah, I definitely think if all else, he's going to at least take a few minutes in this quali session to kind of talk things over with his race engineer and try to figure out what went wrong there, and probably going to have a chat with his team principal as well, possibly. But yeah, he's definitely got something to prove. He had pace. There's no question about that. He definitely had some pace. I mean, he was keeping up with his teammate and keeping the Mercedes of Oscar Piastri behind him for quite some time there up until that incident. Although I do think his race kind of really started getting unraveled when he had that really dicey moment with his teammate going into the chicane on, I believe it was around like lap 5 or 6. So I do think that was when his race kind of started tumbling down. He might have gotten a little bit flustered, a little bit worked up under pressure. So that might have just caused him a few issues. Racing is a mental sport as much as it is a physical sport. So if you want to get the most out of your car, you got to be mentally locked in. You pretty much just gotta be mentally on edge and sharp.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But we will ride on board with some flyers now. It looks like a McLaren and the Limitless Draco will be the first to start. We'll ride on board with him. And exciting is to say the least for this quali. I think it's going to be super fast too. These guys now have a full sprint race under their belt. Bit of track time, and have done a quali session already. So this is going to be great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we do have a very solid session here in the actual main qualifying. So, yeah, I mean, the Saubers are definitely the one to keep an eye on. Definitely do not sleep on the Saubers. The Saubers, they've been very impressive. They were impressive in the preseason, and they're definitely impressing now that we're on to the first race of the full season. Yeah, I do think that Sauber is a team to keep your eye on. Not just this race. I think they're going to be a team to watch. They're going to be a solid contender for the Division 2 Constructors title. Maybe even overall, because several other divisions, Kick Sauber was looking very, very mighty in some of the preseason races. I believe it was Div 3 Singapore. Ryan absolutely walked away with a race win in Singapore. Very good performance from him. Yeah, I do think that Sauber is a team you really want to keep an eye on. As we see some of the first lap times get placed on the board with Draco, Sebi, and Dale setting some decent times, but all in the mediums. They're definitely going to hit a faster lap when it gets closer to the actual race.
Might have a bit of it. Darker may have been impeded there by the Red Bull. I'm not sure if he got out of the way in time. We'll have to wait and see. But he had to dive off the track into the gravel to get out of the way, so that was lucky. There was no contact there, but Darkin on a flyer. We'll ride on board with him for the remaining of this lap. Nice early turn in, gets that nice and perfect no oversteer. Uses all the track on the exit. Darkin is a bit of a dark horse. He didn't get to really show his pace in the sprint race, but he's definitely one to watch. Red helmet too in the Ferrari. Yuki goes P1 with 18.8. And Darkin now around the last corner. Across the line. Where does this put him? It goes P2 A 19.2. It's a great lap there for Duncan, and that's a little bit more on the pace that we're used to seeing from him. So that's a great time from him for a banker. And oh no, sorry guys. Not sure what happened there.
Oh, hey, there's a Red Bull that spun around. Draco has decided to give us. He gave the folks some Italian donuts there. As this car goes around, he's very lucky that nobody was coming around that chicane. That is not a good spot to do some donuts.
No.
Yeah. So the Red Bull was stuck in the chicane. Must have got a little bit too much curve there. The curves on this track in general bite, but especially with that turn 1 chicane. And ooh, yeah, if you get too much curb, you become a Beyblade. And as cool as Beyblades are, I heard they were trying to make that an Olympic sport at one point. So curious to see if that goes through. But as cool as Beyblades are, you don't want to be one in a Formula 1 car.
No, mate, absolutely not. And Spry jumps up into P4, 19.3. So this is a really close top 8 at the moment. Or top 6, sorry. But a lot of these guys still set times, and they're also a lot on the medium tyre. Great stuff. We'll see who comes out next. Dragon looks like he's just started his lap, so we're on board with Dragon. Hard on the brakes into turn 1, a little bit of a lock up, nothing serious. Used third there. Some guys use second.
Yeah, I think he carried just enough speed because you really want to have because your entry, I mean, obviously is love the random records facts. I'm sorry, I'm just now getting to chat. Checker says that he loves the American commentator. I appreciate it, and I love being here even more. Rush provides some really good racing, so you guys definitely want to follow us if you're not following already. We have a very amazing season in store. But now, yeah, going back to the lap from Dragon, yeah, I mean, the exit is really the big thing, especially on qualifying, because a lot of lap time is lost from drivers kind of trying to learn a track. Myself, a lot of lap time is lost whenever you just don't have the perfect exit on that chicane coming out of turn 1. So I think it's gonna be a pretty solid time there from the Mercedes of Dragon. He's going to come across the line. We'll see where he finishes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's good enough for P4, 3/10 off of the pace set by Yuki. And Yuki's actually got a very good lead right now on the soft tower compound. 3/10 ahead of P2 in the Haas. Very good stuff there.
Yeah,
What's your thoughts on the Dito?
Yeah, I'm impressed, mate, of Yuki's performance so far. But we've seen in SQ1 with how much we saw more drivers in the 18. So I think there's still a lot to come, and there's a lot of guys that have just warmed up for that first run, and will be coming out now and do their second one. So I'm hoping we see some really close times, man. I think this is going to be crazy, and we've just had a request from Rush. Prediction time. So who will get pole? We need 5 drivers, guys. So if you want to drop those drivers down in the comments. Personally, I'm going to chuck a name in there, and I'm going to say XPG. Sam. I think that will definitely be a name that will be up there. And Dante gets a 5-place grid penalty. Interesting
For
there.
contact. Yeah, I mean, he's missing a whole front right end plate. So yeah, who did he collide with? You know what? I'm gonna go into race director and find out who he collided with.
MJ Roller.
Oh, it's with Darkin. It's with the other Ferrari. So a little bit of trouble with the Tifosi there. Jeez. The home crowd is not happy about that one. Yeah, and we talked about it earlier during the sprint race. The last thing you want to do is collide with your teammate.
No.
Like with the dicey moment between the Salvers, and we've seen it now with the Ferraris, except there's actual damage and actual contact, resulting in a 5-place grid penalty. So I am sure there's going to be some words, probably some very angry Italian being thrown at each other during the break in between this qualifying session and the actual race. But yeah, not super great. As for my prediction on who's going to go ahead and get pole position here, now this one might be a bit controversial. It might not be the most conventional pick, but I'm gonna go with XD Lamb. I think he had some really solid pace there towards the end of the sprint race, capitalizing on mistakes. He was so close to actually taking the win there. And I know XD Lamb is a very, very solid driver. I think XD Lamb is, I'm gonna put him for pole position, but at least front row.
Yeah, he is. He's looking good. Both him and Shifty invalidated, so they'll have to go back out again. They're both in the pits now. Tomo is about to finish his lap up for his first set time. We've got both kicks out too, so we'll jump back on board with them in a second after the Aston's lap. But this is heating up now, and Yuki's still in control. Tomo goes P13 with a 1:19.9. I just want to point out too, MJ 19.3. He had a massive mistake too, and still managed to set that time. So just watch out for him. At the later end of this quali, I think we could see a big improvement there. He also did 3 laps on those softs. So just one to note for the end of this. But we are watching XPG. His name has been thrown in the mix for pole, and he did a very good job in that last race. So here he goes, uses a bit of overtake out of turn 2, and definitely one to beat tonight.
Indeed, yeah, we're seeing quite a few suggestions come through in the chat. We see Yuki is actually one of them. We see Yuki, we see XPG. I'm seeing some support from Williams from Wadjet.
That was close to invalidating there for Sam.
All right, good morning, Ryan. Glad to have you here. Get it right, dude. All right, so we're having some fun here in the chat. And actually, XPG goes ahead and sets purple sector number 2. All right, so... Oh, actually, we have a few names here. Hato and Sebi. So I think we're possibly going to go ahead and get our predictions up here very soon. I'm going to go ahead and gamble my channel points and just to get it all wrong. Let's see. All right, yep. I'm sticking to my guns, and actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw 800 channel points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going big.
I'm gambling.
Although I'm not betting for the team that actually has a gambling sponsor, the title sponsor. I'm sticking with my guns, sticking for XD Lamb. Pretty sure last time I made a prediction, that driver ended up DNFing. It was in I think it was the full distance race at the end of the season at Monaco. I made a prediction and the driver ate a wall, so hopefully that's not a commentator's curse. So yeah, best of luck to everybody who's put their predictions in, and best of luck to the remaining drivers out on track.
So Sam went to P3 with that 19.0.
1,000 actually. Tudor Gaming put 1,000 on Sam. On our sprint race winner, puts 1,000 channel points on him. Now that's proper gambling for the gambling team.
Right on board with Shifty Wizard because he has not set a time. Both Williams actually haven't, leaving it to the last minute. Shifty did set a 19 flat in SQ1, so if he did that again, that would put him into P3. So we'll just see what he does here. If he's coming through the final corner on the power, use all the rest of his battery he's got. Let's see where this will put him. It's over. Oh, he goes in the pits, so both him and Lamb do. So maybe Williams have something going on. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. I am in control of that team, but I unfortunately don't know what the engineer team's got going up their sleeve at the moment. So I'm at the moment obviously commentating. So we'll have to wait and see. Sure, I'll leave them in their capable hands.
Yeah, so I'm actually reading in chat, and I thought my bet was big. Somebody put 2,875 channel points on Yuki remaining in pole position. That lap time very early on in the session, and even though by only 21 hundredths of a second, Yuki's still on pole position. I think one of the only cars with a 118. Let me check. He's one of 2 cars with a 118. So I think, my good sir, whoever put 2,875 on the black and red car, you might just win big.
Okay.
He won in the sprint. Who won in the sprint was Sam. XPG in the kick Sauber had a very close end to the sprint race, only us 2 tenths ahead of XD Lamb when they crossed the line. So
We have MJ Roller setting a time here. And he invalidates. He'll be so annoyed with that because he had a mistake in his first run too, and I don't think a 19.3 is his full potential. We know he's very quick. If he can get a time down, it'd be a lot further up, I believe. But he will have to jump in the pits. He'll have time to go back out again. Monza is fortunately quite a small outlap, but he'll need to get in. He goes around again.
yeah, something's not right. I mean, I don't know if it's just my perspective or not, but that car is I don't really do like the typical swerving you see for a tire warm up, but kind of getting a little shaky there. He doesn't look like he's going super fast unless that is just perspective. To turn on the telemetry on my end. Yeah, he's not going super fast. So he's going to let the kick Saubers go by. So this is not going to be another lap attempt from the McLaren. As with the last few minutes of qualifying, everybody's coming out. It is happy hour on track. So we're going to just have every driver currently out. The only other driver who was on the lap was the One Truth. His lap's invalidated for track limits. 4 billion on Sem. Oh, if you had 4 million channel points, I would be be very curious to see how you managed to get that.
I'll let you take us with an onboard mate of Yuki, because he is currently at P1 and he's about to start his final lap.
Alright, so he's about to begin his flyer. He is coming out of the Parabolica, rushing to the inside line. His lap now begins. We'll go ahead and see he's coming up to the first chicane. Now, this first chicane can easily make or break your lap time. Puts it on the brakes. Very good, very good. Hitting the apex, taking a little bit of curve. And that is a good chicane. He's coming around the corner to go ahead and end Sector 1. We'll see where he sits at the end of Sector 1 as we just come to the last minute. He's not faster in Sector 1. He's 5,700 slower in Sector 1. There's the yellow flag in Sector 2. That is a slow-moving Mercedes. That should be cleared by the time Yuki goes through. He is currently coming through the 2 Lesmos. Looks like a little bit on the grass, maybe. Definitely taking a good amount of curve. He's into the DRS zone. We'll see where he sits at the end of the second sector. Oh, he's up by 200 on the dot. Ripping through the chicane, now coming up onto straight before turn 11, the world famous Parabolica. Very solid stuff there from Yuki. If this will probably be his last time, he looks like he got a little bit screwed there on the exit, maybe a little bit of understeer there, but he just whips it around. He's going into the pits. He's not satisfied with that time. That is Yuki's lap done and dusted.
Interesting.
Let's see who's close to finishing a lap. Tomo is going to be the next driver to finish the lap. Seppi and One Truth are done with their laps. We'll see where Tomo sits. It's good enough to improve his time, but not really improving his position. Tomo will finish up to P now 17. XD Lamb is only good enough for P9 at the moment. And he's done. XPG is going to go ahead and Sam will take pole position with a 118.576. The kick Sauber all kick out front row, only for a limited time as Limited Striker and MJ will improve to P2 and P3 respectively. So Oscar Piastri Goat, he's coming down to the Parabolica. We'll see where he goes. We see some people saying RIP my points. Yep, I will join that sentiment. He comes across the line. We'll see where he goes. Very interesting line on the dusty part of track. I didn't see where he got put. That's good enough for P6 for Oscar Piastri Goat. And it is a pole position for Sauber.
Wow.
So taking a run through your top qualifiers, you have XPG, Draco, MJ Roller, that is your top 3. Followed by Lyrian, Yuki, Oscar Piastri Goat, Dante with 5 position grid penalty for contact with a teammate who's directly behind him, followed by Dale. Karchi, I probably mispronounced that again, I apologize. Watanabe, Dragon, XD Lambs, Fry, The One Truth, Shifty Wizza, Tomo, Hato, and Sebi. That is your qualifying. So, actually, I just now realized 0-0-1. That is the gap between Draco and Sem. The Red Bull and the Sauber getting very close to each other.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was extremely close. You saw, like, Lamb did a 19.2, and it was not that far off pole, but it was all the way down in P8, so this is going to be a great race. These guys are super close in pace, and I think, yeah, this is going to be exciting, mate. If anything from the sprint is to go off, we'll have a dramatic race, I would say.
Indeed. And I will go ahead, since I took the start of the sprint, I'll let you go ahead and take the lead of the feature race once we get underway.
Yes, no problem, man. So everyone just finalising their setups and strategy before the long feature race. And yeah, not long until we'll be 5 red lights out, but hopefully we can get all through turn 1 again and have another great race like we just did. I think yeah, I'm excited, mate. If anything, to go off from Div 4, yeah, we're in for a great show. Anyway, here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. Everyone should be off the line. No problems there. So just jump onto tyres. Here they come down into first turn 1. Everyone's really close together here. XPG well and truly. Oh, what's happened in the back?
V-carb going super wide.
Massive break. Misjudgment there, but I think that's Sebi. Everyone's safely through though. Everyone's still on track. But wow, I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, we'll go back to the racing. Dale almost looked like he was under some pressure from Kashi there. Everyone's still... The lead has not changed. XPG still in the lead with Sam, MG Roller. Wow, he did well to get up there. Let's have a look at some telemetry. Sorry guys, I'll jump back on that. Position changes, so MG Roller's up 1. And the biggest gainer, Shifty, up 4, and biggest loser is Dale down 7, so an unfortunate start there for him. Oh, someone's gone wide in the background too. That's an Aston. Want to be, I think.
Yeah, Darkened Shadows getting a 3-second penalty for track limits already on lap 1, and man, this has just not been a great day for the Scuderia here on track. And also, we're seeing some prediction here from Case Swiffer that there's going to be rain at the end of this race, so that could really throw a unique element in to the later stages of this race, especially with I could definitely see some incidents happening with the turn 1 chicane, especially with the reduced traction due to the wet weather. We have a yellow, and that is the other V-car having an issue in the first sector in the chicane. And also, I do want to echo the sentiment from the admin. We had 70 concurrent viewers earlier on in stream, so that is an awesome feat. And I mean, it's all deserved. 70 people have a good taste in racing, as Rush provides some very solid racing. And actually, speaking of solid, MJ Rolla's going to make a very solid overtake in the DRS zone, coming up to the next set of chicanes. And there's a McLaren in P1 now, as we come up to the run-up before the Parabolica, Dito.
Yeah, he did awesome, man. It was a great overtake. Just missed it on stream, but Sam now will be had the toe down this back straight, but MJ didn't really get to show his full potential and quality, and he's doing that in the race. He's doing really well, and Limitless Draco right behind him. Got to bear in mind though, MJ is on the faster tyre than Sam, so he would be hoping to break away from this battle pack. Big lock up from Yuki, no damage though. But this battle at the top is only getting bigger and bigger as more and more cars are trying to join. Kachi's 1.6 off that battle pack, and they'll be all hoping to get up there. But yeah, I was just going to note about Spry. He actually overcooked it looked like he overcooked the first corner and had to go straight through the runoff, as we've seen a lot of drivers have to do this weekend in Div 4, Div 1 and now Div 2. So it could be due to the fact with the smoke in this game, it's incredibly hard to judge the braking with cars in front of you. And yeah, you see as a result, see a lot of guys overcook the brakes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Things are getting really spicy. Those 3 cars were packed like sardines in a can as One Tooth gets another 3-second time penalty. Now, I wonder how many more of those we're going to see throughout the race as the Haas is thinking about an inside shot.
Oh.
He's thinking better of it. It's a big lock up there for the Sauber. I don't want to go ahead and make a move into the Sauber. Expecting a position change after, I was going to say, this time it's a different Mercedes with the fastest lap. Dragon says the fastest lap of the race. And it's dicey, but it's a good overtake.
Oh!
Oh, contact there. Oh, no.
Oh,
Bit of a
no.
domino effect there in the chicane there.
I think Yuki's missing a front end plate. I don't know if MJ is. That will have to be investigated. I'm not sure whose fault there. It looked like maybe a racing incident. We'll have to wait and see. But Limitless also missing a front end plate. It's a problem on that corner. Once one person crashes, domino. No one can slow down in time.
Yeah, just looking at the cars, it looks like Yuki, Lyrian, and Draco are all missing front end plates. MJ got out fine. MJ is perfectly fine. His car is still in one piece. So definitely good for the McLaren that his 3 main rivals behind him are missing front end plates. And 2 of those drivers are on a slower tire. I tuned in for 1 minute and there's a DRS train from P1 to P17. Yep. That's about right for the beginning stages of Monza, especially with how much of this track is mostly geared towards straight line speed. And I'm sure we're going to see quite a few fastest laps, especially when these pit stops happen. So, pit stops are probably going to happen, I would venture to say, probably around the lap 15 mark. And, oh, there's a good lock up there from one of the Saubers as things are getting a little dicey there in that chicane. I'm curious to see what happens if the prediction of rain coming in comes to fruition.
Yeah, that'd be interesting and really shake it up, because if you could get on the hards at the start, go right to the rain, you'd be able to only pit once, whereas if you're on the mediums, you might have to pit before the rain and then have to pit again. But we don't know the weather, we're only going off what someone has said, but we'll have to wait and see. It'd be a pretty dramatic end to the race. But yeah, MJ currently in control, Yuki still in DRS though, Limitless going around the outside before the corner. And get the job done on Oscar, no problems. But so far, a great race, mate, and we did expect that with how close it was in quality. And DRS train is well and fewish in here. But I think what will happen as soon as someone starts to get in the pits and undercut, we'll start to see some moves happen here. Shifty makes a move on Want to Be. He's trying to get back up to the front of the grid. And
yeah, indeed. Good DRS train coming into turn 1. The cars have spread out a bit, so probably not as much turn 1 chaos. We might see something open between Oscar Panzer and Limitless Draco. That's a very optimistic move there from Oscar, but he gets it done.
What's happened
Well, there's
there?
contact.
Both Williams have been have spun there. And I'm not sure who has damage, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know actually what happened there. It looked like, once again, just overcooked the brakes and just misjudged the braking zone, and like a domino effect. As soon as someone hits one another, it's just everyone hits another. So we'll have to hopefully Shifty and Liam don't have to pit for a wing, but I think multiple drivers are riding around out there with no end plates, trying to hold off until pit stop starts to commence.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the race director to see if I can get any information on kind of what happened there. As Tomo collided with the Ferrari and he got sent into a bit of a seesaw pattern. He got spun a bit. Coming out of one of the chicane exits right after the second DRS zone. That is not great. And once again, the Mercedes are just trading fastest laps back and forth. It is a solid start for them. P4 and P5, they're going to get a good amount of points. It's Gargan is in the first that damage. I'm certain of it. Because that looked like a lot of contact there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's missing both front end plates, so he's gonna make a switch to the medium. So do you think the medium could go all the way to the end? Well, actually, no, he went from medium to medium, I believe. I'll check the pit stop indicator real quick. Oh, no, he went from hard to medium. All right. So do you think that the mediums are good enough to get to the end in this race, or those cars are just gonna fall off a cliff?
May not without a safety car, I wouldn't think, but yeah, it'd be a big push. But I've seen more incredible things as Oscar gets over Yuki before the corner, and now he's on the charge behind Sam. So Oscar's making his appearance. Mercedes looking really strong here. Once again, we've got yellows. What's happened there? There's a car around. Managed to keep it on track.
I believe that was one of the V cars. Oh no, it's a Red Bull. It's Mercury. Oh, his car is yeah, he must have got spun way around there. Not great for the Red Bull, as we do see a change for the lead. Coming up to the chicane. The Mercedes are gonna go side by side. A little bit of touching, a little bit of bump drafting here. I didn't realize we had a NASCAR race here in Monza. But yeah, I mean, it was far less dicey than what the Saubers did earlier on in the sprint race. So, excellent stuff there from the Mercedes. Keeping it mostly clean. We saw a bit of a brake lockup. I believe that was from MJ. Now, MJ is out of the DRS range of Sam. So, Sam is going to go ahead and just casually walk off into the distance while MJ Rolla has two separate Mercedes that he's got to deal with here. He's not going to DRS the Mercedes, and pretty much the next, like, 10 cars behind him will. So we'll see if there's any position changes. Good car position there from the McLaren. He's keeping it safe. He's keeping his position locked in. But I think by the time we hit the start-finish straight, there'll be a new car, Fendu P number 2. We're coming up to the Parabolica now. Sam is just increasing that gap. It definitely does help when you don't have a car with DRS.
Oh.
Right behind you, and Oscar Piastri is going to go ahead and take a seat at the inside. And it's going to be both Mercedes. Very interesting line difference. A penalty there for track limits there, Dito.
Wow. Mercedes, we are great. That was a really well executed move there. Dragon, unfortunately, with that pen, but they'll be able to work together now and try and reel in Sam before you can get too far away. They are on the same tyre. And I think what we'll be finding is MJ's tyres on the medium maybe starting to just rub off a bit compared to the guys around him. And his teammate is on an alternate strategy in P10. So I expect Dale to be a little bit further up by the end of this race, just due to how rapid he can be. But we'll have to wait and see. It's a long way to go. We've still got 17 laps. 17 and a bit laps. But yeah, Merck definitely doing really well in both races that we've watched tonight.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, the Mercedes and the Saubers, for the most part, have been pretty solid. Take a look at the position changes. Dragon is up 9 positions from his starting point. So he's having a very excellent race, although that penalty will certainly drop him down a few spots. His teammate has been up 3 positions, so 12 positions for the Mercedes squad combined. Some other top movers. Dante moving up quite a few positions. He's moved up 5 positions. One Truth and Shifty both up 4, as well as Hato. Tomo is up 1, now make that up 2. And yeah, we do have some very solid movers on this track. Now, that's not super surprising considering just how high speed Monza is and how close all these cars are. Now, Sebi in Twitch chat is saying that rain is expected in 9 minutes.
Wow.
So that's probably going to put it right around lap 18 or 19, I would say, maybe 17 at the earliest, if my math is correct. But that is definitely going to change things up here in this race. So if you're on the hard tire, I think you're definitely winning in the strategy department there. If you can make the hard tire go for so long, especially with how feel more tough those iron or those hard tires are in this game. So you could definitely make those laps until the rain kicks in.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in the hard on the hard tire. The question is, are the guys in the mediums going to be able to do the same? But you see, MJ, he doesn't think he can. He's jumped in the pits. Certainly won't be putting on any wet tires yet. And you probably have to try and go hard or soft, but or he double nuts you going hard. So he will have to pit again if it does rain, obviously, but I think a lot of the medium runners are going to have to do the same thing MJ did. Probably a good idea to get that out of the way as soon as possible, like he has done.
Yeah, so very interesting, especially with that imminent rain that we have been hearing about. Although, unfortunately, we can't really look at a forecast. I can look at my forecast. It's only going to show Orlando, which is not even remotely close to Monza. So my weather radar would not be the most useful for this track. But what is going to be useful is that DRS zone for Daniel. He's going to move up. He's going to take a spot away from Miriam. He's up to the P6. He's up 2 positions from his starting point in this Grand Prix. And yeah, this is going great for one Sauber and not so much for the other here in this race. We'll see who has fastest lap. Still, I believe it's still a Mercedes. We'll go ahead and check that. Yeah, oh no, it's actually him with a 1:21.212. That is our fastest lap. Darkin gets another penalty, so it is just not the race. But it's supposed to here on home soil. So not super great as we're seeing a little bit of action and racing here from the 2 Mercedes teammates. I'm sure their race engineer is probably getting a few gray hairs seeing these 2 Mercedes come ever so close to having a little bit of contact. That time was not nearly as intense as earlier in this race. But if I were the team principal on Mercedes, which I believe is Dynasty, I would probably start seeing some gray hairs by the time we're done here in Monza, especially when the rain comes in. The less grip, especially if we see the intermediates or the hard tire compounds play out. We're seeing Karchi come into the pit. He's thinking he won't be able to go until the rain either. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the medium tire compound, I think, especially if there's rain coming in, I think you kind of lost that strategy gamble there. So
yeah, your best bet would be a safety car of some sort. It is getting darker here, and I think everyone would be well aware of trying to preserve their tires. But you either have to do it early or just commit and try and push out till the rain hits. But interesting strategy at the moment. Yuki Bear has the most to lose at the moment. MJ Roller also did, but moves up the top again between the 2 Mercs. Sure, they're just playing around with some DRS. It's a nice problem to have, but they need to try and get Sam, see who can catch him, which is, I'd say, what they're doing, swapping, picking who can close that gap in. But at the moment, Sam's well and truly in control. His teammate is in P6. It'd be a solid lot of points if they finish where they were for the constructors. And same as Merck, double podium twice tonight at Monza as well. So for Div 4, not long before this one, they won 2. So they'd be doing well to double up again.
yeah, I mean, it's particularly for Div 2, which is where we are tonight. Mercedes are going to easily jump up to the top of the Constructors' Championship if things finish as they are. Although it is worth noting Dragon does have a 3-second penalty, so he'll drop down the order a bit. So might give a chance for Kick Sauber to go ahead and take top. But if this race is anything to go by for the duration of the season, I do think that we're going to see a lot of battle between the Saubers and the Mercedes, at least in Division 2. A great start for both teams as we see a bit of a drag race coming down to turn number 1 between the 2 Mercedes. Dragon is going to keep it. They're not really wanting to fight yet, but at some point, do you think team orders are going to come into play here to let Oscar P? Oh, we see a little bit of contact there in the chicane. I think that was one of the Aston Martins going a bit deep.
Yeah. Yeah, as what you're saying, mate, I think Dragon definitely, now that he's got the penalty, will will have the second best just to help out Oscar's race. Still no reason he can't lock in the podium though. Oh, Aston's gone wide. Wannabe.
Yeah, that's Watanabe.
Watanabe, sorry.
Or Wannabe. No, I think it's... Yeah, I think it's Wannabe, actually. I think you had it right. But yeah, regardless, Aston Martin goes wide, loses a few positions. Not really a great race there for Aston Martin as a team. They're not having the greatest of days here in Monza. But yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, I think what needs to happen here is that Dragon and Oscar need to work together to try to close that gap to. They need to build that gap first and foremost. Actually, right now, as it sits, with that 3-second penalty, he's only going to drop to P3, so it'll still be a double podium as Oscar is pulling away there from Yuki and Limitless as there's a position change for P4. But yeah, I think maybe this is just going to be their strategy. They're not close enough to Sam to go ahead and challenge for that race win, but they're not really behind. Or they're not in any danger to lose to Yuki or Draco, especially because they were battling into the first chicane there for turns 1 and 2. So I definitely think that right now, you know, I was talking about team motors earlier, but I think right now Mercedes is doing exactly what they need to do. But they are both catching them here, so I think at DRS range, it is going to have to be where there's going to probably be some team orders where Oscar Piastri is going to have to go ahead and get sent through to possibly go for that race win as they get ever so close to that coveted 1 second gap for DRS range, especially as they're about to approach the Parabolica, the most famous corner on this track. As we're seeing several penalties come through now for track limits. We're seeing it from now XD Lamb, we saw a bit earlier with Tomo as well. That sky is darkening, so yeah, I think we're going to get rain here pretty soon, Vito.
Yeah, mate, I think some of these guys be praying for it to rain so they can get off these tyres, especially the medium runners. They'll be hurting. There's moves going on everywhere. Lamb getting a penalty as well. Not going to help his chances in this race, but interesting just watching this Merc and Kick battle, just seeing who can hold out. They're all on hard tyres. It'll be interesting when the rain does start falling, who makes that call first. You got to remember Mercedes are so close together here that double stacking is a real problem. So they'll have to think on their toes here about who's going to dive in on the inters first when that rain does come down, because that could really make or break their race. Bear in mind though, Dragon does have a 3-second penalty, so I think out of the two they will have to go with Oscar favourably in the pit stop.
Yeah, agreed. If I was the head of strategy over on Mercedes right now, I would give Oscar the priority here. At least when it comes to the pit stops, they're going to try to go as long as they can. So I want to swap positions now, even though they really close to Sam, but they just lose them on this Parabolica. Sam is just taking that Parabolica faster, and as I say that, that gap closes down to just barely outside of the 1 second margin. They're not going to get DRS. Debbie is the next victim of the dreaded 3-second time penalty for trunk limit. Sauber locks up the brakes going into the chicane. That's going to possibly present a good opportunity there for the Mercedes to kind of close that gap. But, yeah, I 100% agree with you. I do believe that Mercedes shouldn't really swap positions now, but definitely in the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think that would be definitely a must. Otherwise, Oscar will definitely lose his chance of catching Sam. A safety car as well would really throw things in the mix. Hato's in a Williams sandwich at this stage, P11, battling out the 2 Williams drivers and the 1 Truth. This is a really interesting part of the race because no one knows exactly when it's going to rain. The engineer can tell you, but this game isn't very predictable. So you can make it if you Ellering gets a penalty, his 3-second penalty on stream. We got that on board, unfortunately. But yeah, this is where the tyre wear is kicking in. Everyone's just praying that it just pulls down so they can get in the pits and get off these tyres, especially the likes of Yuki and any of the medium runners be hurting out there, I reckon, by now.
Yeah, I can imagine that there's some of those strategists doing like one of those Aztec rain dances to try to get the rain coming, especially if some of those drivers who are stuck on a medium tire, so they can
Oh, there it
just make sure
is.
that their race stays to a one stop.
I see the first drops.
It has begun. Oh, speeding in the pit lane
Wow.
already, and the rain starts trickling down here in Italy. And who's going to be the first one to bite? Honestly, I think that Mercedes needs to be the first one to go ahead and bite to get that undercut onto XPG stem. I really think that just to potentially even fight the undercut, Stem needs to pit in this lap. Oscar too. I think they both need to make their pit stops this lap or next lap at the absolute latest if they want to still contend for the win here.
Absolutely, mate. And Sam has actually managed to pull that gap out to 2 seconds now. So he's doing really well to keep that gap out of DRS range. Dale also on the move up into P5. But DRS disabled, so now's the time to pit. And here they go. You got a double. Oh, Oscar's gone around again. So that's going to hurt Oscar's pace on this lap. That rain has just dropped immensely, so everyone's going to dive in the pits here, get off these tyres onto the inters.
Oh, and there's a penalty anyway for Oscar.
Oh no. Only one that's gone past the pit lane so far is Piastri. Let's see how he is on board. Is he struggling? He would be. And unfortunately, he's going to lose an immense amount of time on this lap to all these guys behind.
Yeah, he's already 3 seconds off of his personal best on this lap. I mean, especially like slicks on rain is basically the equivalent of putting a cheetah on an ice rink there. So, oh, yep, there's a little bit of slide there from the Mercedes car still on the slicks. Getting some Drift Italia going on there. But yeah, now this rain is really coming down. So those slicks are basically pretty useless at this stage of the race. He's got to be very, very tender on those tires. He's got to whisper to them like he's never whispered to a tire before. But it's yeah, it's pretty much he's got to make a pit stop now, or otherwise, next time we see him sliding, it's gonna be off into a gravel trap or worst case scenario, a wall. That will give us a safety car. But I do think he's gonna go in and pit in this lap. We'll see what the Mercedes does, and yeah, those hard tires are gonna get sent to the ground. He puts on the more appropriate inters, and Sam will go ahead and retake the lead here in this Grand Prix. Now, here's something to talk about, though. We've seen how good Stem's pace is on the dry tires, but how good is his pace in the wet with these intermediate tires? Because we know some drivers in other divisions, I'm going to just name Squash Josh, because he's the first one that comes to mind. Squash Josh is a wet weather merchant who thrives in those like trickier conditions. Is Stem going to be the same way, or is he just going to struggle a little bit now that there is water on the track?
Yeah, mate, it's quite possible, and wouldn't that shake things up? At the moment, he's definitely still in control. Dragon does have a 3-second penalty, so even if Dragon does get up and catch him, he will have to then get 3 seconds adrift of Sam. So Sam's in a really comfortable position. His closest competitor, in my eyes, was Oscar, but unfortunately that strategy just did not go the way he would have imagined, and then getting the penalty straight after has really hurt his race. So yeah, mate, he looks like he is pulling that gap out still steady, so it's 2.4. So hopefully we get a gauge of his pace after a few laps. But I tell you what, a safety car would really change things up. And Dale, I must say, has done a really good job to get back up in there in P3. Yuki lost out massively on that pit stop, unfortunately down into P9. He was up in a lot higher than that before. So yeah, interesting times, mate. We only got 6 laps left, and yeah, it's only going to get more spicy from here.
Indeed, yeah, and Oscar is making up some moves. He's past Draco there. Although, granted, if he doesn't get 3 seconds ahead of Draco, then that pass is basically non-existent. So, and actually, I believe it's soon going to be time for us to do our driver of the day here pretty soon. I think in about a 1 lap's time.
Yeah, mate. So hopefully
So,
we don't forget this one. We do. I
yeah,
forgot Div 4.
figured I'd
So,
give it a quick little reminder.
but one more lap or so, and we will get onto that.
Yeah, but we're seeing a few of these cars slide around a bit. Oscar and Dale having a little bit of a slide around Monza. I mean, it's a pretty wide track, so I mean, you can slide and not be too much in danger. Unlike, say, Baku, Monaco, Singapore, those tighter street circuits. That is the one. That is the one benefit of racing on a historic track like this. They made the tracks pretty wide,
I've
and
already
yeah,
done
so.
pens. I can leave it
Leave
on
it
pens
on
if you want
10.
me to.
Yeah, let's go for it. It'll be good to kind of keep a track on that, especially seeing how some podium positions are likely to be decided by a pen. Sim is almost at a point now, so Sim's pace has been pretty solid on these intermediate tires. So I think honestly he can get a penalty, and within like a lap or two, he could probably get a good enough a gap to Dragon to go and make that penalty stick, or to just make it to where that penalty is borderline non-existent. So, yep, it is time for us to get the driver of the day vote underway.
Alright, so. So do we pick out of the names supplied or?
I believe so. Alright, yep. We'll go with the names that Dynasty has suggested. So it's Dragon, Dale, Limitless, Dante, and XPG and Piastri are the names given to us.
Okay.
So we can put those wherever we're going to put those.
I'm not sure if we just didn't just pick it, but if you choose your own and the last name in the comments is last.
Yeah, so
Okay.
my pick I mean, I agree with K Swift. I think Sam has definitely got to be in that discussion at minimum. He's had pretty much the perfect race. He's had the perfect race, honestly. I mean, he's done everything he's needed to. He's got pole position, basically led every single lap for the most part. Yeah, I think he's had the perfect race. I mean, he's had the perfect weekend for the Sauer driver. Did he complete the sprint? I think he did.
Alright, so we'll go with Sam as one, as your one.
Sam is definitely my pick for driver of the day.
Yeah, and I'll go.
Flawless weekend.
I'm gonna go Dale.
Yeah, Dale's another pretty solid candidate. I would honestly also put Dragon in the list. Dragon would be higher up if he didn't have that penalty.
Yeah, the reason I didn't go with Dragon from P11, just the only reason is just because of the penalty, but we could go Dragon and Sam for driver of the day. We'll go with that.
Yep, the battle between those two. I mean, yeah, from P11 to P2, granted, although he's got a good enough gap, he's got an 8-second gap to Dale, so that P2 is gonna stick. So Dante gets the next victim of that dreaded 3-second time penalty. Yeah, so definitely between Dragon and Sam. So pick a name on the last lap. All right. Yeah, but I mean, I agree. Dragon has made some really stellar progress here. Just unfortunate that he's not as quick in the rain as Sem is at the moment. Sem is just extending that gap into Kick Sauber. He's not too far off of his time, actually. Like, at least in the first sector, about 2 seconds off, which is not bad for being rainy conditions. Dragon, though, I mean, making up quite a few positions. I mean, there's a few other pretty impressive movers up. My end, I have the positions gained. The from P2 to P4, we've seen some pretty good changes in position. 11 positions combined for the Mercedes duo, 5 for the McLaren Dale. Nixie Lamb has moved up 7 positions, so those are definitely your top movers as it sits. Dante, even though he's got a penalty, we should say him as well, because he's also been up 5 positions. So yeah, a lot of big movers here in this race at Monza. It's a very good track to do so. Because Monza is such a good track for overtaking. Lots of long straightaways, lots of areas where you can make some very spicy overtakes, especially like in the turn 1 chicane. We've seen some pretty gutsy overtakes there. But who's your pick for driver of the day?
In my eyes, it's either Dragon or Dale. I think Dale's just driven a really calm and steady race and avoided all the trouble. He made up a lot of ground. He was down at the bottom at one point, so yeah, that's my pick. Or Dragon. But we'll just see what the names come flowing in. Draco's still in a battle with Lamb and Dante. Draco doesn't have a penalty, so that will help him in the end. 3 laps remaining. But what a race! We've seen it all. We've had penalties galore. We've had no safety car, but we've had rain, carnage, everything. We've had no DNFs, which is awesome to see. But yeah, plenty of names to be thrown in the driver of the day. I think everyone's done really well, in my opinion, tonight. Got yellows
Agreed.
here. What's going on here? Looks like maybe a Ferrari. Everyone seems to be okay.
I think one of the drivers might have just went wide there on the exit of the second Lesmos, which is very easy to do. That's the trick of the 2 Lesmos. Oh, and XD Lamb gets hit with another penalty, and so does Sebi. So take a look at the penalties now. At least take a look at my end. I know you've had them up the entire time. So XD Lamb now has 6 seconds worth of the penalties, and Sebi with 19 seconds. So if we just want to talk about like the outstanding penalty, Darkened, and I'm sorry to put you on blast on stream, my good man, but 29 seconds of penalties. It's not been a good day for the Tifosi out here today.
No, not his race that he would have wanted. Definitely 29 seconds is not going to help, but 19th, can't go any lower. We'll just have to learn from it and go again next race. We are on our second last lap, and there's a few close battles. Wannabe doesn't need to really pass Lamb, but he will want to try and get to Yuki on track. But Lamb's doing well with that, but that 6 seconds going to really hurt him. And looking back up the front, I think that top 6 might be sealed. Sam, though, in control this whole race, but probably the next moves is probably Shifty is going to make up good ground on the likes of Dante and Illarin. He may even get Lamb, his teammate, as well. Just due to having no pens.
Yep. Now it is it's the last lap, and now it's time for us to go ahead and pick our driver of the day. The name I'm seeing a lot in chat is Dragon, and also that was one driver that we both talked about. So if you're all right with it, I think we can lock in Dragon, the Mercedes driver currently sitting at P2, as our driver of the day here. Commentary box. What do you think?
Well, I went with Bevs because I was not aware how that worked. I thought we just went with the one we picked, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be close out of those 3, mate. I really don't think we could separate driver of the day between them. They all deserve it, but we are on the last lap, and Sam just needs to bring it home now. Dragon will get P2 if he finishes where he is. Dale in control of P3. The positions that can change is sort of this middle pack. Lamb can't really do much in the likes of Yuki. Yuki can still make a move on Limitless, though. That would be our closest battle on track. No DRS, unfortunately, so it's all about your battery. and who has the most of it. I don't think Yuki's close enough to apply any pressure. At least not for here. As we come around the final few corners, we'll jump back on with our race winner, Sam. Great race from him. Crosses the line in P1, Dragon P2. And Dale crossed the line in P3.
Yeah, and actually looking at the Twitch chat, Dale actually got driver of the day according to Twitch chat from the poll that just recently ended. Some mixed reactions in chat, but I guess according to Twitch chat, Dale is your driver of the day, but the driver on the top step in that podium is the kick driver of Sam. It was a very strong race from start to finish. He just kept building that gap up lap after lap after lap, in the dry and in the wet. So a very solid drive there from the Sauber. A dominant day overall for the kick Sauber. He won in the sprint, pole position, and race win with fastest lap, I might add,
I'm not sure
in the
what's
feature
going
race.
on
So yeah,
at the bottom here with the Red Bull and the Ferrari. But I will be right back. I just need to rush to the toilet, mate, before we do these interviews. But this race will just be delayed for whatever this is.
I guess formation coming to the end. I mean, we pretty much right know where the position is gonna be for these two. Yeah, they're just taking a quick little formation lap. All right. So, yep, and there's even more penalties applied to the two drivers. So that is the end of the race.
Hello, lads. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning and good evening, Australia.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very hectic race. Congratulations to you, good sir. You're on the top step of the podium here in Monza. I mean, absolutely dominant weekend for you, Sam. Just absolute domination from start to finish.
I mean, in the first stint, with all the mediums around me, it was a little bit hectic. But in the inters, I did everything I had to do. Yeah, that's all.
Agreed. We're gonna run through real quick on our finishing position. Going to go ahead and look at least your top 14. You have Sam, who is currently here in the commentary box with us. Then we have Dragon, Oscar Piastri, Goat, Dale. Oh, sorry, that is the weekend results. Let me switch to the actual race results. All right. So we have Sam, Dragon, Dale, Oscar, Draco, Yuki Bear, Watabe, Dante, Shifty, Rolla, Lamb, Leon, Tato, Fry, and then at least on my end we have the One Truth, Tomo, Sebi, and then the last two drivers of Darkid and Karchi. So, Sam, absolutely amazing race. So, did you know ahead of time that the rain was going to be there? Were your engineers communicating that to you, or did you just see raindrops and think, "Oh crap, let's go"?
I just, I thought hard and just stick it in until, it's falling down. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And it came down. And then I saw Dragon was together with his teammate Oscar. So I knew either of those is screwed, obviously, due to pit strategies, etc. But I knew from the moment it was dropping all down on track from, okay, it's in the back if I just stick it there. And
Excellent
yeah,
stuff there. So, Monza,
that's
one of
all.
your favorite tracks that we have here?
Nah, to be fair, I strongly dislike it. It's just, yeah, it's very annoying to drive. So, no, I don't like Monza at all.
Well, you definitely drove like you absolutely loved the track. So, excellent stuff for you.
Thanks, mate.
So yeah, congratulations, P1. I don't have the constructors' results on hand, but definitely a very
Appreciate it.
good weekend for Kick Salbert, at least in Division number 2. So excellent job, and best of luck to you next time out.
Of course, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks. Chica.
No problem.
Yeah, mate. I don't have much more to say other than what. Oh, you might have just left.
You ready, Dip?
All good. We'll jump over to. I don't think Dale's in.
Dale's in.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm here, mate.
Hey, mate. How are you? We'll jump over to McLaren for P3. Mate, great race, great recovery, clean and collected, smooth, no penalties. Just tell us, mate, how did you get through the carnage? It was a bit of a wild race. No safety cars to really bring that gap back up, and rain and everything. So, did you have a strategy and you just stuck to it, mate? Because it seemed to pay off at the end of the race.
Nah, not really. Just was kind of stick out in the hards because there was some signs of rain. So I kind of just stuck out and tried to avoid as much damage as I could, which seemed to work out. And then the rain kind of came at the right time. So yeah, it just seemed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, mate. So, well, it's a big congratulations, obviously, and no stranger to this sort of position. Obviously, a bit different to last season. Seems to be a lot of competition for the championship this season. How do you think? Obviously, it's only early days, one race, but do you think it's going to be close all season and a lot more names maybe in contention for the championship?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of drivers that can win. I think it's hard to kind of gauge just how competitive everyone is because it seems like a bit of a DRS heaven. So maybe we'll start to find out a bit more into the season. But yeah, based on first impressions, there's a lot of quick drivers, and it's going to be pretty hard to keep up in the podium, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's going to be an exciting season, that's for sure. Well, well done, mate, and I'll pass you over to Rex to see if he's got anything to say.
I just want to say congratulations, and also via Twitch chat, you have also been awarded with Driver of the Day. So congratulations on that. So, how much are you looking forward to the next race in the Hungaroring in Hungary?
Yeah, so thanks, Twitch chat. That's a bit of a surprise, but I appreciate that. And Hungary, it's also going to be another interesting race. Hopefully it's competitive. Hopefully it's clean because it can get a bit messy. But yeah, hopefully I won't be as rusty as I was tonight, and we can have another good result.
For being rusty, P3 is not too shabby in the slightest. So congratulations. Luck to you for the rest of the season.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Alright, so we'll jump over to our P2. Dragon, are you there, mate?
Yep.
Alright, mate. So what a race. Obviously, great recovery from P11, I think it was. So yeah, great drive, mate. Obviously, just missing out a driver of the day. It was close between you and Dale. But I think, I'm not sure, just lost out of that vote. But mate, what a drive. Couldn't apply the pressure on at the end towards Sam, but just a really good race, mate, and it's great to see you up in the podium. So when it started to rain, was that your domain? Were you happy when it started to rain, or do you usually struggle?
Nah, I kind of sucked during the rain, so
Yeah.
I was just slipping about at the end. One more going wide, like one more track limits, I would have got another penalty, but because I kind of got pushed wide a couple times, so I had to get track limits. But no, so I pitted probably one lap too late, and then my teammate got suffered from that one. So a bit sad, but nah, I had to back off for the last couple of laps because I couldn't catch him too fast.
Yeah, well, mate, it's awesome to see you up in the podium, and you did a really good job tonight, and I think Mercedes are on for a really good season so far with what we've seen. And yeah, hats off to you, mate. I'll pass you over to Rekus if he had anything to say.
Cheers.
Congratulations, Dragon. You had a very solid race today. Obviously, the rain isn't your best friend, as we unfortunately saw on stream.
Yeah.
But, so how are you feeling about Hungary? This is a track
Uh,
you're looking forward to, a track you absolutely despise with every fiber of your being. What's your
nah,
opinion?
I like it quite a lot. I love Hungaroring, but I think I'm pretty fast at it as well. I love like short, like fast corner tracks with corners and stuff like that. But we'll have to see next week because my qualifying is also not that great as seen today.
You'll definitely have time to go ahead and improve. You definitely have pace. We saw today that you do have pace. So I have pretty high confidence that you'll continue bringing in good results for Mercedes. I'm sure Dynasty is very proud wherever he's sitting at the moment. But yeah, congratulations on a very solid P2, and best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thanks.
Alright, guys, well, that's another stream wrapped up and another race wrapped up, and big night of racing. Obviously, Div 4 and then Div 2 back straight up with that. Round 1 done and dusted for now. Division 1, 4 and 2. We still obviously got Division 3, 5 and 6 to go, which is exciting and crazy to say on stream, obviously with 6 divisions this season, so it's a very busy schedule for Rush, and we'll pretty much have a stream every other night other than a few. So thanks for everyone tuning in. I've been your host probably for a little bit too long. You guys are probably sick of my voice by now, but thanks to everyone, and thanks to Reckers for jumping in again on comms, mate. And unless you have anything to say, mate, we'll wrap it up.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us here on Twitch. You don't want to miss any of the other divisions that we have lined up for the rest of the week. And yeah, also, I want to make a big shout out to everybody that was here when we had the 70 concurrent viewers here on stream. That is an awesome achievement for Rush Racing League. And yeah, and honestly, these drivers deserve it. We have some of the most talented drivers on the game. And yeah, can't wait for next time out. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, mate, and thanks, Rush, and thanks again to everyone joining. Cheers, guys.